Do you want to build a voice bot that takes burger orders automatically? In this video, I will show you how to build a voice assistant using VAPI and how to set up a menu for a burger restaurant. You can use the same knowledge and apply it for any kind of restaurant. So first, what we need to do is we need to create a new assistant in VAPI. If you don't have an account with VAPI, what you can do is you can click on the link down in the description and you can sign up. So something to note is that now VAPI is no longer free and you only get the one-time $10 credit, which you can use. And once you basically use all the credits, then what you need to do is you need to basically add your debit or credit card and then continue using the services provided by VAPI. So once you're logged in, what you need to do is you need to click on this button, which is Create Assistant, and then you can give your assistant any name that you like. And finally, you need to press the Create button at the bottom. So I've already created an assistant, which is called Restaurant Order Bookings. And now what we can do is basically we can take a look at the model. And in this case, I've chosen OpenAI and then the GPT-4o mini model. So after this, we have this first message. So I came up with this Burger Heaven restaurant. And yeah, so this is the first message which the assistant is going to say when someone is going to call the number. And then we have the system prompt, which basically details how the assistant should behave and what steps they need to follow. And right at the bottom, or actually not at the bottom, it's in the middle, we have the menu. So you can see, since we have a burger restaurant, we have a bunch of different burgers, we have a few sides, drinks, extras. And after this, we have all the instructions that the assistant needs to follow. So you can see they're numbered. So the assistant is going to follow everything step by step. So right at the bottom, you have an option where you can basically send all the details from a particular order to our backend. And we're going to store this information. And obviously, you can use this for further processing later on, or you can ingest it into your CRM or whatever system you might be using. And we're collecting this information that you see here. So burger, sides, drink, delivery method, and then some notes. So once we have done this, then we can basically move on to the next section, which is selecting a voice for our assistant. And in this case, I've selected VAPI as the provider, and then we have Savannah as the actual voice. So once we have selected a voice for our assistant, the next step would be to define a function. The function is going to be attached to our assistant, and the purpose of the function will be to send all the details about the particular order to our webhook on the backend. So we're going to use make.com to create a very simple scenario, which is going to collect all the data from our order, and it's going to put that into an Excel spreadsheet. So you can see I've already defined a new function. So if you don't have one, then you can click on the Create Tool button, and then you can select function. You can give it any name that you like. And then in the description, you can just say that this function is responsible for collecting all the data during the call. So once you have added description, then you need to scroll down a little bit, and then you need to add a parameter. So I've added one parameter, which is restaurant order, and this is of type object, which means that it can contain any number of elements that the assistant is going to collect during the call. And after this, what you need to do is basically you need to add the webhook, which you need to create in make.com. So I've already created the webhook and I've added the URL The next step would be to go to make.com and create a very simple scenario, and I will show you how to get this URL from the webhook. If you don't have an account in make.com, you can click on the link down in the description. It's completely free and you don't need to pay anything. You also get 1,000 free operations per month, so you can experiment, you can test it, and yeah, you don't need to pay anything. So what you need to do is you need to create a new scenario, and then you need to select this component, which is webhooks. And when you create such a component, it's going to give you this URL. Obviously, this URL is going to be different because it's a unique URL which is used for receiving data. So once you have this URL, what you need to do is you need to copy this, go back to the function in VAPI, and then paste it. And after this, I've connected this webhook to Google Sheets. And this is where we're basically storing all the information or all the data from a particular order. And if I just click on this, so you can see how it looks. So we have around 5 or 6 columns in our Google Sheet, and each of the columns is mapped to an individual field from this webhook. So when you run the scenario and when you talk to the assistant, then you're going to get all the data. And in here, what we're doing is we're just mapping each individual field which we're interested in into the appropriate column in the Google Sheet. So we've got burgers, sides, drinks, order type, and then notes. And just for your reference, so this is our Google Sheet. So you can go to Google Drive and you can create an empty Google Sheet, and you can add as many columns as you like depending on your use case. And yeah, so after this, you will see all the column names in make.com, and you can map all the individual values to the columns which are in this spreadsheet. So once you have done this, what you need to do next is you need to go back to VAPI, and then you need to click on phone numbers. And from here, what you need to do is you need to select the assistant that you just created, so that when you call the number, which is listed under inbound phone number, so basically when you call this number, it's going to basically trigger this assistant. And if you don't have a phone number in VAPI, then I will add a link somewhere on the screen, and then you can watch this video on how to buy a number from Twilio and how to integrate this into VAPI. The final step would be to run our make scenario, and then we're going to call our assistant and see if it's going to work. So let's run our make scenario. And then I'm going to call the assistant now.
Hi there, welcome to Burger Heaven. What would you like to order today?
I would like to get a cheeseburger.
Great choice. Would you like to customize your classic cheeseburger with any extras like extra cheese or an extra patty?
Can I get extra cheese, please?
Got it. One classic cheeseburger with extra cheese. Would you like to add any sides to your order?
Yeah, sure. What kind of sides do you have?
We have French fries, onion rings, and chicken nuggets. Which side would you like to add?
Can I get onion rings, please?
Perfect. So that's one classic cheeseburger with extra cheese and one order of onion rings. Would you like to add a drink to your order?
Can I get a Diet Coke, please?
Great choice. Is this order for delivery or pickup?
It is for a pickup.
Thank you.
You can see that our webhook was successfully triggered and the entire scenario finished its execution. So now, if we go to our Google Sheet, then we should be able to see some data. And there you go. So you have the burger type, you've got sides, you've got the drink, you've got the order type, and we didn't add any notes. You can take this voice agent to the next level by adding some more functionality to it, such as adding a delivery option, and then the agent should be able to pick up the actual address where the customer lives. And also you can make the menu dynamic. So currently the menu is hard coded into the system prompt. So an alternative approach, which is kind of better, is to basically get the menu from a website or from a webhook or from another place where the menu changes constantly, and then you can basically get the latest up-to-date version. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn more about how to build voice agents, chatbots, or how to start an AI agency, you can join my school community. The link should be down below in the description. It's completely free to join the school community, and there's plenty of resources in there. If you want to get this system prompt and the actual make.com scenario, I've added the link down in the description. You can click on that and you can download all the information for free. Thank you very much for your time and see you in the next video.